I welcome all the members of the Meditation Study Circle. Today, we are gathering here to discuss about Panchadashi. Panchadashi means 15 in Sanskrit. So the Panchadashi is a Advaita Vedanta text. It's called Prakarana Grantha, which will help us to prepare study for Upanishad, Bhagavad Gita, and get deeper understanding of scriptures. First, let us understand about the author. The author of Panchadashi, Swami Vidyaranya, he was in Karnataka. He was at that time, back in 14th century, lot of attacks and destructions were happening because of invaders, Mughals, in northern part of Karnataka. Swami Vidyaranya wanted to establish a Hindu kingdom which will fight against this invasion. He found two people called Hukka and Bukka, two youngsters who had courage and enthusiasm, but no money, no resources. Swami Vidyaranya motivated them to build an army to fight against the invading foreigners. So Hukka and Bukka together built the Vijayanagara Empire, which lasted for few hundred years. And they prevented the expansion of the invading army downwards. Vijayanagara Empire was a magnificent empire. The culture, literature, art flourished there. Swami Vidyaranya was responsible for the bringing of the Vijayanagara Empire. In that way, he did a great service to the Sanatana Dharma. Not only he built an empire, Vijayanagara Empire, helped to build Vijayanagara Empire, he also served as a minister in the Vijayanagara Empire to make sure that everything in the empire, Vijayanagara Empire, is functioning very smoothly. He did a lot of service to the society. Thanks to him, the southern part of Karnataka was saved from invaders. The Vijayanagara Empire, we have heard of so many things, Vijayanagara Empire. It is so rich, so powerful, and people used to sell diamonds and the precious metals in the street, measuring them not as a single piece, but in like equivalent of, in today's equivalent of kilos, weighing diamonds and other pieces in there's a measuring instrument. Okay, in that they used to measure. So that was the glory of Swami Vidyaranya. He helped to establish Vijayanagara kingdom. He helped to establish dharma there, and also he established the law and order as a minister. But that's not the end of, there's only one part of Swami Vidyaranya. He wrote several Vedantic texts, Advaita Vedanta texts. Battery. Advaita Vedanta texts. Many of them are really simple to understand and helps a common man to get a understanding of Vedantic texts. So two important texts. I mean, there are many texts which Vidyaranya has written. The beauty of Vidyaranya is he simplifies the Vedanta so that a common man can understand. So we have last couple of days, we have taken up study of two texts. One is called Jivan Mukti Viveka and other is called Panchadashi. What is the relationship between these two texts? Panchadashi is about Tattva Jnana, means knowledge of reality. Tattva means reality. Tattva Jnana means knowledge of reality. And Jivan Mukti Viveka is the phala of reality. If you know the reality, what will happen to you? You will become enlightened. You live a liberated life. It's called Jivan Mukta. So, two parts. What is called Tattva Jnana, which is actually understanding the real nature of self, who am I, and the phala or the benefit of understanding who am I is called Jivan Mukti Viveka. Both the talks are going on parallelly. Today I am going to take up Jivan Mukti Viveka. So let us understand the structure of this Jivan Mukti Viveka text. Today is being the first day, is more of an introduction.
Prabhuji, Panchadashi.
The structure of Panchadashi, sorry, not Jivan Mukti Viveka. So Panchadashi stands for 15. Now 15 chapters are there. They're called Prakarana. But actually, each chapter is like one book itself. It's not like the 15 chapters are 50. It's not a 15 chapters of one book. There are 15 books actually Vidyaranya has written. It's called almost like 15 books. Each book is called a Prakarana. Prakarana you can treat as chapter 1, chapter 2, or you can treat it as a book itself. Because there are 1,500 slokas in Panchadashi. It's a huge text. Because Swami Vidyaranya wants to go step by step instructing the seeker. What is reality? So if you look at 15 chapters or 15 books, you can divide into three parts. Part 1, part 2, and part 3. Part 1 is called Prathama Panchaka, part 2 is called Madhyama Panchaka, and part 3 is called Charama Panchaka or last chapter, last 3. 5, 5, 5. Now what are these 5? First 5, Prathama Panchaka is about Viveka, discrimination. What is reality? It's called Viveka Panchaka. Second part is actually called Deepa Panchaka, light. So all of us have heard Atma Jyoti, light of the self, Nataka Deepika. All those we can find reference in the part 2. Then comes the part 3. It's called Charama Panchaka, Ananda Panchaka. So there are 3 parts. You can also call the part 1 as Sat, part 2 as Chit, and part 3 as Ananda. Sat, Chit, Ananda is all the 3 parts of Panchadashi. So just to summarize, Panchadashi is a very big text. I won't be able to do justice by covering all the slokas. It's too big. I'll try to summarize as much as possible. Covering the main teachings. It's so big, 1,500 slokas. It'll take many years for us to go through that. Let me give main summary at various places so that you understand the essence. 1,500 slokas are divided into 3 parts: Prathama, Madhyama, and Charama. They represent Sat, Chit, Ananda. Now, why Swami Vidyaranya has written this text? What is the purpose of writing this text? The purpose is we have to understand Sapta Jnana Bhumika or path of enlightenment. 7 stages of enlightenment are there. So these stages are called Shubhecha, Vicharana, Tanumanasi, Sattopati, Asamasakti, Padartha Bhavani, Turyaga. The first 4 stages are called Vividisha Sannyasa, and next 5 stages, 3 stages are called Vidvat Sannyasa. First 4 stages are called Vividisha Sannyasa, and next 4 is called Vividisha Sannyasa. So what is this Vividisha Sannyasa? Somebody who has gone through life, he has seen the suffering in life, joys and sorrows, and he has come to a conclusion: life is nothing but a suffering. If you keep on going outwards in the world, seeking happiness, life becomes a suffering. The one who suffers in life is called samsari. Okay, there are 2 types of people: those who suffer in life and they don't know the cause of suffering, they continue to suffer. And those who suffer in life, they understand life is suffering and they want to come out. Those who want to come out of suffering in life is called mumukshu, or the seeker. Those who are suffering in life are called samsari. So how many of the people in the world are samsaris and how many are mumukshus? Mumukshus are rare, very few. Most of the people are samsaris. People keep on going after the objects of the world, seeking happiness, seeking joy from the world. But every time you seek happiness from the objects of the world, there is a suffering. Either it is successful or failure. Success leads to more effort. I want more. Failure leads to a feeling of, oh, I feel bad. Either way, success and failure leads impressions in the mind. So only few of them understand there's no happiness or unhappiness I can get for the world. I have to find my own nature, which is self nature, which is peace and happiness. They want to take an inner journey. Those are called seekers or mumukshus. Swami Vidyaranya has written this book for seekers of liberation, seekers of mukti. One interesting thing you have to note that people want freedom from suffering, called mukti. People seek mukti. Okay? And a seeker keeps on putting effort to attain mukti. In reality, mukti cannot be attained because you are already mukta. You are already free. To understand I am already free, you have to get jnana. That's called Atma Jnana. Mukti is not a result of effort. Mukti is a result of jnana. Because with the illusion that there's the illusion that I am the body, I am the mind, I am the intellect. The seeker identifies with the body, mind, and intellect and feels he's suffering. To understand I am not the body, I am not the mind, I am not the intellect. Nanu, nanembudu nanalla, ideha manabuddhi nanalla, Sachidanandatma Shivanamnane Shivoham. This understanding has to come. So this understanding can come through jnana. That's why mukti, you can get through jnana. Jnana alone can give mukti. There are no stages in mukti. In liberation, there are no stages. But in jnana, there are stages. So that's why 7 jnana bhumikas are there. 7 stages of enlightenment is there. Many people in literature, in literature circle, in literature, spiritual literature, in writing, in talking about spirituality, confuse liberation, mukti with the jnana. Liberation and mukti, liberation is mukti, and jnana, we should not confuse. Liberation is not possible because you are already liberated, mukta. But jnana is possible to understand I am mukta. That's why there are stages in jnana, there are no stages in mukti, liberation. That's why there are 7 jnana bhumikas are there. To give you an example, a washerman takes a donkey to wash the clothes every day. He puts some luggage, some clothes on the back of the donkey and takes the donkey to river, washes the cloth and comes back, putting the clothes back on the donkey. One day, he forgets to bring the rope for tying the donkey. Now he is worried. If I take the cloth off the donkey and start washing the cloth, if donkey runs away, what to do? Then there is a wise man sitting there. Don't worry about it all. Go near the donkey, take a rope, pretend that you're taking a rope and tying the legs of donkey, tying the neck of donkey, pretend that. Don't have to do physically. Don't need a rope. Just see the effect. So this man goes and pretends that he's tying a rope around the leg of donkey, around the neck of donkey. And to his surprise, the donkey thinks it is tied. Donkey is not at all moving. After washerman washes the clothes in the evening, he comes back, donkey is standing there only. He puts the cloth back on the donkey. Now we have another problem. His donkey is not at all moving. Now what to do? He starts beating the donkey. Donkey doesn't move because donkey thinks that he's tied. Then what to do? Then the wise man smiles and says, morning you appear to be tying the donkey, no? Now you appear to be removing these knots. Pretend that you are freeing the donkey. So the washerman pretends that he is freeing the donkey. Oh, donkey starts moving. The donkey was never tied. It appeared to be tied. It appeared to be released. So similarly, we were never in bondage. We are never in bondage. We appear to be in bondage. And with jnana, we appear to be liberated. Nothing has happened to you. There's no bondage. There's no liberation for you. Reason is simple. You are never born as Atma or self. You are never born. You appear to be born. You appear to be grown up. You appear to be getting married. You appear to be dying. You appear to be suffering. You appear to be getting rid of suffering through jnana. So these are all called appearances. Then we'll come and say, oh, how is it possible it's appearance? I'm really suffering. In your dream, you got a lot of money. You appear to be happy. And some thieves came and stole the money. You appear to be suffering. But when you wake up, there are no thieves, there's no money. Both were appearances. Similarly, our entire life, birth, growth, marriage, children, family, old age, and death are appearances. So Vedanta teaching is jnana, called jnana, is given to you to understand what's happening, to become free from suffering with clarity which is coming out. That's why the first chapter of Panchadashi is called Viveka Prakarana. Discrimination. Understand what is reality. Swami Vidyaranya summarizes the nature of reality. Now, for whom is this text? The text is for people who have got a desire for liberation. Okay, I want liberation. Such a person is called Mumukshu or Shubhecha. He enters into first stage of enlightenment, desire for enlightenment. Please understand, desire for liberation has to be converted to desire for jnana, knowledge, understanding, which becomes desire for enlightenment, and enlightenment has stages. Liberation has no stages. So then he'll go through first stage, second stage of enlightenment, which is called Vicharana or inquiry. So for that, what you have to do? He has to approach a guru, a realized master, who is Shrotriya and Brahmanishta. Brahmanishta means is already self-realized. Shrotriya means one who has the ability to teach based on the teachings of Vedanta. If you go to a teacher who does not have the ability to teach, then what will you learn? I want to learn physics. Oh, that man is a great man. He is a very big scientist in physics. Go to him. He doesn't know how to teach. Then what will you learn from him? When you do a puja of him or what? Similarly, a person who is self-realized, maybe a saintly person, if he is not able to teach, you can do namaskar to him, you can take blessings. But ultimately, teaching has to happen from somebody who has the ability to teach. It's called Shrotriya. And he should be Brahmanishta. Under the guidance of Shrotriya and Brahmanishta, the Mumukshu starts the self-inquiry. Who am I? Atma Vichara. For that, he goes through Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasa. The text, what we are speaking today, Panchadashi, is useful for person who is in the Vicharana, Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasa. Stage 2 and stage 3. What is the purpose of Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasa? To go to stage 4 called Sattopati. Second stage is called Vicharana. Shravana, Manana, listening to teachings of Vedanta, contemplating the meaning, understanding the deeper aspects of Vedanta is called Shravana, Vicharana. Tanamanasi, which mind becomes very subtle, very sukshma, because of study of scriptures. It's called refined mind. In this refined mind, the seeker does the Nididhyasa or meditation, Vedantic meditation. So then finally he goes to Sattopati or self-realization. The purpose of somebody going to Shravana Manana is to get self-realization, which is aparoksha jnana or direct intuitive experience of self. That direct intuitive experience of self is called Sattopati. Such a person called Brahmavid. Now, one who goes through these 4 stages is called Vividisha Sannyasa. Vividisha Sannyasa means somebody is seeking self-realization and he takes a sannyasa. Then the moment I say sannyasa, oh, all the people sitting here in meditation study circle and Atma Jyoti saying, oh, this is for sannyasi, is for us. It doesn't work. Please understand, the word sannyasa has 3 levels of meaning. One is called Rudartha. In common man's language, sannyasa means somebody who has left his house, left his job, has taken an ashram, sannyasa ashram, he has a sannyasa robe and stick in his hand, sannyasa danda. That's called Rudartha, common man's understanding of sannyasa. There's a yogartha or a yogic meaning of sannyasa. What is yogic meaning of sannyasa? Sannyasa means somebody whose mind is intent on self-realization. Somebody focuses his mind on self-inquiry, Atma Vichara. Who am I? He does Shravana, Manana, Nidhyasa and Seva for self-realization. This first level of meaning is Rudartha, which is worldly meaning. Second level of meaning is Yogartha, yogic meaning, which is related to mental state of a person. The third level of meaning is there for sannyasa. It's called Gudartha. You don't have to take sannyasa because Atma or Sakshi is Nitya Sannyasi, eternal Sannyasi. Nothing sticks to Atma. Nothing attaches to Atma, self. Atma is ever free from any attachment. Asangoham, I am not attached. That's the nature of the self. And that's why the good artha of sannyasa means Atma, the self. So what meaning we have to take when you say sannyasa? Rudartha, yogartha, or gudartha? Sri Krishna in Bhagavad Gita, he defines sannyasa as a mental state. Of course, there is a physical state also. Somebody can take sannyasa dress and take an ashram. That's called ashrama sannyasa. Second type of sannyasa is mental state. It's called manasika sannyasa. Ashrama sannyasa has to leave his house, family, and go to ashram. A manasika sannyasi can be grahastha. You can be grahastha sannyasi. It can be ashrama sannyasi or grahastha sannyasi. It doesn't make a difference. Because sannyasa is the state of the mind. So first 4 stages are applicable to Vividisha sannyasa. Vividisha means a renunciation of the seeker. What is renunciation here? Renunciation is when our mind is focused on something higher truth. The lower aspect of life drop by themselves. It doesn't mean that you'll run away from somewhere. Your focus is more on self-realization. Example is somebody studying for IIT. Then what will happen? He'll not go to movies. He'll not go to games. He'll focus on studies. Similarly, when your mind is focused on Atmadana, that is called sannyasa. Samyak nyasaha. Right kind of deposit of mind is called sannyasa. With the right kind of deposit happens, all wrong attachments, everything gets dropped. That's the real meaning of renunciation. So Vividisha sannyasi means renunciation of the seeker. A seeker has not realized. He wants to know, he wants to get freedom, mukti. That's why he wants to get jnana. And that type of renunciation is called renunciation of seeker. Then there is a renunciation of knower. It's called Vidvat sannyasa. 5, 6, and 7 are renunciation of knower. But if you have reached stage number 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, you are done in life. That's called Jivan Mukti. And deeper understanding of that is called Videha Mukti also. For that, you have to listen to my talks on Jivan Mukti Viveka. So now, Swami Vidyaranya has written this text of Panchadashi for stage 1, 2, 3, 4. Those who have to go through 1, 2, 3, 4, they have to study Atmadnana. What is self-knowledge? For that, Panchadashi is written. It's called Tattva Viveka, or knowledge of reality. So if you are a seeker, then Tattva-dnana, or knowledge of reality, is Panchadashi. You have to study. So let us come into the Panchadashi. Swami Vidyaranya opens the Panchadashi text with a very beautiful analogy. That beautiful analogy is a prayer. All our spiritual texts start with a prayer. Advaita, even Advaita texts start with a prayer. Invocation. So this invocation, Swami Vidyaranya gives a beautiful analogy. All of you have heard the story of an elephant called Gajendra getting trapped by a crocodile and Bhagavan Vishnu coming and liberating Gajendra. Swami Vidyaranya does Guru Vandana to his Guru, Swami Shankarananda, by invoking the analogy or what we call as comparing that to Gajendra Moksha. What he does, it is always traditional, all traditional scriptures. You do a prayer for Guru and Ishwar. The Guru and Ishwar are not different. Ishwaro, Guru, Atmeti. Ishwar and Guru are not different. Swami Vidyaranya says, there's a chapter called Gajendra Moksha in Bhagavatam and Gajendra Moksha in Vishnu Purana, where there's an elephant called Gajendra, very powerful elephant. He was the king of all elephants. That king of elephant, very egoistic. See, elephants, when the elephant becomes a king, he has to defeat all other elephants. The king of elephants moves very proudly. I am very powerful. The king of elephants, Gajendra, once it goes to a lake to enjoy taking bath in the lake with other female elephants. Suddenly one crocodile comes and catches the leg of the elephant, Gajendra. Gajendra, even though he is very proud and very strong, he is not able to free himself from the clutches of the crocodile. Crocodile is trapped in, because crocodile has lot of strength in the water. Crocodile in water is much stronger than the elephant in water. So Gajendra starts praying to Bhagavan Vishnu, protect me. Then Bhagavan Vishnu comes and cuts the neck of Gajendra and frees him from crocodile. Cuts the neck of Gajendra. Very strange. Gajendra is praying for freedom from crocodile. Gajendra is praying for Vishnu. Bhagavan Vishnu cuts the neck of Gajendra and frees him. It's called Gajendra Moksha. Gajendra is liberated. What is there behind the story? The crocodile represents the Adnana, ignorance. The crocodile called ignorance catches hold of our leg. The elephant, Gajendra, represents the Jiva, Jivatma. Jivatma gets trapped by Adnana, ignorance. Very difficult to come out of that. And water represents Maya, or the world. Gajendra is trapped in Maya. He is suffering intensely. He is about to die also. Then he prays to Vishnu, who comes and with this chakra, the disc, Sudarshana, cuts the neck of Gajendra. Gajendra is asking for protection from the crocodile. The neck is cut. This is a symbolic, this is an analogy. Then cutting the neck of Gajendra represents dropping the ego, cutting the ego. Our head is full of ego. Head represents ego. Ego is cut. The leg is held by what we call as crocodile, which is Adnana. The solution is to cut the ego. Ignorance. Once he cuts the ignorance, Gajendra is liberated. Jivatma becomes one with the Paramatma. Jivatma attains mukti. That's why this chapter is called Gajendra Moksha. Mukti for the Gajendra. Bhagavan Vishnu here represents the Sadguru. Swami Vidyaranya offers his prayer to his Sadguru, Swami Shankarananda, comparing him with the Bhagavan Vishnu. Because Ishvara and Guru are one and the same. Ishvara, Guru, Atmedi. And what does Guru does? Guru cuts the neck. Your leg is held in Maya, what is called Adnana, and leg is trapped in samsara. The solution is cutting the neck, cutting the ego. Once the ego is cut, Jivatma realizes one with Paramatma. It's called moksha. And what does Bhagavan Vishnu use for cutting the ego? It's called Sudarshana Chakra. Sudarshana means right seeing. How does the right seeing happens? Through Dnana, Atma Dnana. Right understanding of life is called Sudarshana. Bhagavan Vishnu represents here Sadguru. In case of Swami Vidyaranya, Shankarananda. And teaching of Shankarananda is called Sudarshana Chakra, Vedanta teaching. So Swami Vidyaranya is very grateful to his Guru, Swami Shankarananda, for freeing him from samsara with Atmadnana. In one shloka, Swami Vidyaranya praises Bhagavan Vishnu, praises his Guru, and gives what all things happens for mukti in one shloka. First shloka. Now there is a question. Why should Swami Vidyaranya write a shloka? Why any of the spiritual texts starts with a prayer? As long as we are operating in the world, we are governed by the laws of the world. No, I am Brahman, Brahma Satya, Jagan Matya. I am Brahman only. The world is Brahman. Perfectly all right. Have you realized that? Are you there? If you are not there, your functioning in the world requires a blessing of Ishvara, grace. Without the blessing of Ishvara, grace, you cannot complete, we cannot do anything in life. We need a special grace. Normal grace is there for everybody. The special grace for Loka Kalyana. Swami Vidyaranya is taking up a work for Loka Kalyana, service to the world, helping people realize Atmadnana. For the Loka Kalyana to happen, he is seeking blessing because he has to complete this text. What are the obstacles for completing the text? There are three types of obstacles: Adi Bhautika, Adi Daivika, and Adhyatmika. Adi Bhautika means physical. The weather conditions, sudden rains, maybe any physical condition. Adi Daivika means metaphysical. There can be sudden earthquake, there can be corona, there can be diseases. Then Adhyatmika means disease for the body. Suddenly you may get some disease, even fever. With that fever, you will not be able to write. You will not be able to write the text. Or mental disturbances. So Adi Bhautika, Adi Daivika, Adhyatmika are three types of disturbance which can come to anybody. Now the question is, these three types of disturbance will come. What I can do about it? I can do something about it if it is under my control. But Adi Bhautika, Adi Devika, Adhyatmika, I don't have any control. There's no control at all. Then only solution for that situation is a blessing of Ishvara. It's called grace. Grace alone can help us in our spiritual journey, in our Loka Kalyana. Because we don't have control over Adi Bhautika, Adi Devika, Adhyatmika disturbance which can come any time based on our Prarabdha Karma. The blessings of Ishvara are required for our spiritual journey, for Loka Kalyana, Atmano Mokshartham, Jagat Hitayacha. So for that, blessing is required. And blessing is from Ishvara and Guru. But Ishvara and Guru are not different. Ishvara Guru Atmeti. So that's why in one sloka, Swami Vidyaranya, 2 in 1, he seeks the blessing of Ishvara and Sadguru, Swami Shankarana. So after taking the blessing, he starts the teaching of the text of Panchadashi. Okay, what he says in Panchadashi text, he starts with the Jivatma, Paramatma, Ekatvam. Jivatma and Paramatma are one. So that's how he starts explaining Panchadashi. Now we have a concept. I am Jivatma, there is Paramatma. Jivatma and Paramatma have to become one. This is the thought process. But that itself is wrong, because Jivatma and Paramatma, there are no two different entities at all. Jivatma and Paramatma is one reality appearing as true. Jivatma is Paramatma. Jivatma and Paramatma are not two different entities. See, I can say this apple is different from a mango. Apple and mango are different. But Jivatma and Paramatma, they are not different at all. They are same reality appearing as two. One reality appearing as two. How is that so? Jivatma and Paramatma are like wave and water. Wave is never different from water. Wave is water. Jivatma is Paramatma. So that's why to say Jivatma becoming one with Paramatma is also not right. Jivatma has to be realized as Paramatma. That's where Vidyaranya starts. Jivatma is Paramatma. So to understand Jivatma is Paramatma, you have to understand reality. Tattva Jnana is required. What is reality? And what is the reality or nature of unreality? That's why he gives a Tattva Jnana. That's the first chapter. Discrimination of reality. What is reality? You have to understand. And understanding this is called Jnana. Discrimination, which leads to Jnana, Viveka. Swami Vidyaranya says, considering the difficulties faced by the seeker, the spiritual texts are many. The many texts, so many texts are there. It's very difficult for the seeker to understand the teachings of spirituality, Vedanta. That's why Swami Vidyaranya says, I will give the teaching in a very simple way, step by step by instruction for the seeker to understand the truth. So that step by instruction is given as Panchadashi, 1500 slokas. Swami Vidyaranya says, out of compassion for the seeker, he'll give a teaching, systematic teaching. Then he says, this Panchadashi is for a seeker to get Tattva-dhyana. And what is the effect of Tattva-dhyana? You will go through stage number 1, 2, 3, 4 of Vividish Sannyasa and get established, becomes Brahmavid. There is no other Brahman. You realize the self in step number 4. Step number 5, 6, 7 are optional. They happen because of prarabdha karma. But if you reach step number 4, stage number 4, you are liberated. Swami Vidyaranya says, to study this text, you need Shat Sampatti and Sadhana Chatushtaya. Without Shat Sampatti and Sadhana Chatushtaya, this text is not going to help you much. Shat Sampatti and Sadhana Chatushtaya. For anything in life, we need a qualification. Without qualification, it will not work. We will not be able to get the benefit. Suppose I want to study high school. I should have qualified to primary school. If I have to study the masters, I should have studied the graduation. Everything is a pre-qualification. To study Panchadashi, the pre-qualification is your Sadhana Chatushtaya and Shat Sampatti. Shat Sampatti we have already discussed in Vedanta. Shama, Dama, Titiksha, Uparati, Shraddha, Samadhana, Mumukshutva. Viveka and Vairagya and Shat Sampatti together is called Sadhana Chatushtaya. Only one who has Sadhana Chatushtaya is qualified to read the text of Panchadashi. So there lies the problem. Many people say, I don't have Sadhana Chatushtaya. What to do? Is Swami Vidyaranya so compassionate? He is only taking care of people who are well qualified. What about other people? Other people who are not qualified, what about them? A guru is supposed to be so compassionate, so loving. His grace and teaching is available to everybody. But Swami Vidyaranya says, your qualification has required. Shama, Sadhana Chatushtaya. Viveka, Vairagya, Shama, Dama, Tidiksha, Uparti, Shraddha, Samadhana for understanding this text. And what is the benefit of understanding the text? You will get a mukti, Jivan Mukti. Stage number 4 to 1 to 4. What you call as Shubhecha, Vicharana, Tanumanasi, and Satopati. 4 stages will cross and you'll get liberated. Then Swami Vidyaranya immediately says, he sees the face of the students. Some of the students know that they don't have a Shamadama, Diksha Uparati. Oh, this is not helpful. I can't do anything. What do I do? Then Swami Vidyaranya say, out of love and compassion, he says, do not worry. I will take care of bringing Sadhana Chatushtaya in your life. He takes the responsibility of bringing Sadhana Chatushtaya in the life of the student. See, it is like this. You have to understand. Somebody is going to the college and college says, in the college principal says, if you have to get admitted to college, you should have got a very good marks in SSLC. Swami Vidyaranya says, if you have to study Panchadashi, should have got a very good marks in terms of Sadhana Chatushtaya. Shama, Dhamma, Titisha, Uparti, Shraddha, Samadhana, Viveka and Vairagya. Otherwise, there's no admission. Otherwise, there's no admission to Panchadashi. The student who doesn't have the ability feels bad about it. Swami Vidyaranya doesn't let him go. He says, do not worry. He gives a solution for him. What you do seva, service. By doing service, nishkama karma, selfless service, you will develop that shamadama titisha uparatishraddha samadhana. In the meanwhile, study Panchadashi. You don't have to go feel bad about you don't have sadhana chatushtaya. Seva, you do. He says, the Guru Seva, do the service to the Guru, you start developing sadhana chatushtaya. And study the Panchadashi. Then you start understanding Panchadashi in a better way. So basically, Vidyaranya is giving a solution for bringing Shama, Dama, Tidisha, Uparati, Shraddha, Samadhana in the student. What is the solution? Service. Service to the Guru. What do you mean by service to the Guru? How do you do service to the Guru? Guru is constantly engaged in Loka Kalyana, the teaching, and service to the world. Service to the Guru is involving yourself in selfless activity which Guru is doing. Doing service to the activity which Guru is involved. Guru is doing something selflessly because he is already free from self. He will do something for Loka Kalyana. So all that you can do is whatever is possible, get involved in the Loka Kalyana. That's why I always say Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasa, and Seva. Atmano Mokshartham, Jagat Hitayacha. Swami Vidyaranya says, Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasa you do with respect to Panchadashi text. Do Seva for the Guru in the form of service activity. So that will bring the Shamadama Titisha Uparati Shraddha Samadhana in you. And Shravana Manana Nidhyasa becomes Jnana in you. So Swami Vidyaranya is so compassionate. He gives for an advanced seeker, for a seeker who has full sadhana chatushtaya, he says study the text. For who doesn't have the sadhana chatushtaya, do the service and study the text. This is the solution which is given by Swami Vidyaranya. Then, what is the benefit of study of this? Is called Jivan Mukti from stage number 1, which is called Shubhecha, desire for elevation. Stage number 2 called Vicharana, which is Shravana Manana. Stage number 3 called Nididhyasa. Finally, you will get liberated by study of this particular text called Panchadashi. Jivan Mukti. And what is liberation? That's told in Jivan Mukti Viveka, a separate text. So Swami Vidyaranya tells the nature of Jivatma first. Who are you? And nature of Paramatma. Both Jivatma and Paramatma, the inner essence is only one, which is consciousness. A wave, small wave, or a big wave, or ocean, the essence is water. Similarly, my inner essence, your inner essence, anybody else's inner essence is consciousness. Paramatma and Jivatma are one as consciousness. The consciousness is the reality. Consciousness is the essential nature of Jivatma. Note. So, consciousness is the essential nature of Jivatma. What is the meaning of consciousness? The consciousness is the ability to know. This is glass. I know this is glass, but glass cannot know about me. The glass is inert, jada. The consciousness is the knowing ability of sentient beings. We are We are Chaitanya. So we have to understand our essential nature is Chaitanyam as against Jada or inert. So Swami Vidyaranya first starts Chaitanya and Jada, Jiva and Jada, the difference. Then says essential nature of Jiva, Jivatma, and essential nature of Paramatma is same, one consciousness. Jivatma and Paramatma are one as consciousness. Paramatma seems to be infinite, almighty, all powerful, and Jivatma, me, seems to be a very small individual, weak. But deepest level, we are one. This oneness we have to find deep within us. And that oneness is in consciousness. There seems to be two entities, the conscious entity and matter. I am consciousness and the world of matter is there. Chaitanya and Jada both seem to be existing together. I am conscious and matter is there, out there. So you have to understand the relationship between Chaitanyam and Jada, the conscious and matter. What is the relationship between conscious and matter? Are they two separate entities? The consciousness in its pure nature, absolute nature, has no experience of the world at all. It cannot experience the world. The world cannot be experienced by the consciousness without the body and mind complex. The body and mind complex instrument is required for consciousness to experience the world, to see the world. Just like saying, to read something, I need glasses. Without glasses, I can't read. So consciousness in its absolute nature has no experience of the world. It cannot experience the world at all. It can experience the world only through the body-mind complex. When consciousness connects with the objects of the world, there is something called experience. Experience is possible only when consciousness connects with the objects of the world. If the consciousness doesn't connect with the objects of the world, there's no experience. Then the consciousness is in blissful state, Ananda Swarupa. Every experience happens when the consciousness through the sense organs connects with the object. So that connection is called experience. Is experience separate from consciousness? Experience is another name for consciousness. There's nothing called experience is separate from consciousness. Consciousness appears as experience. Like water appears as wave. Experience. Like water appears as wave. Consciousness experience. So there's no separation with the experience of consciousness. In our English language, we say, I had a very good experience, I had a bad experience. This good experience or bad experience, I have a good experience, I have a bad experience. In my language, I is separate from experience. In reality, what we call as I or consciousness in itself appears as experience. The experience what we have is consciousness connecting with the object, and experience is nothing but an appearance of consciousness. Experience appears and disappears, but nothing happens to consciousness. I'll give you an example. I go and meet my wife. We have an interaction. The interaction is an experience. In that experience, nothing changes in me. I go to the office. In office, I have experience, office experience, meeting up people, interaction. But that doesn't change in me. Nothing happens to my height, nothing happens to my weight in any of the interaction. Similarly, for consciousness in any interactions, nothing happens. No change happens. A film actor puts on the role of a beggar, then he changes the role of a policeman, then he changes the role of a thief. Nothing happens to the actor. Experience appears in consciousness. Experience comes and goes, but nothing happens to consciousness. When we go to sleep, dream appears in consciousness. The consciousness itself appears as dream, and the dream disappears, but nothing happens to consciousness. An actor takes the role of a policeman. The actor behaves as a policeman. The policeman is nothing but actor. But once the role is over, nothing happens to the actor. So here we have to understand the water appears as wave, and wave seems to be changing shape, but nothing happens to water. Water is not wave, but wave is water. Similarly, consciousness appears as experience. Experience is consciousness, but consciousness is not experience. Experiences come and go, but nothing happens to consciousness. So this is about experience and consciousness. When consciousness is not having any experience, no body, no mind, no intellect, or in deep sleep, the consciousness remains in pristine purity called absolute consciousness, which is Sat Chit Ananda Swarupa. Swami Vidyaranya starts explaining about consciousness first. Water appears as wave, ocean, bubble, and foam. Similarly, consciousness appears as the physical world, the objects of the world, and experiences. Water, wave is water, bubble is water, foam is water, but water is none of these. Similarly, consciousness appears as tree, mountain, river, experience, a human being, a stone. The stone is consciousness, but consciousness is not stone. Human being is consciousness, but consciousness is not human being. This way we have to understand. So all experiences are nothing but consciousness. So then we say the consciousness goes through our sense organs. There are 5 sense organs: eyes, ear, tongue, taste, touch, and smell. So each of these, through eyes, we'll get an experience of the world. It's called Rupa, the form. If there are no eyes, there's no form. Similarly, through ears, we'll get, this is called Rupa Prapancha, or world of the form. If there's no eyes, that person doesn't have Rupa Prapancha. That person is the consciousness. Ears hear the sound. It's called Shabda Prapancha. If somebody is deaf, he has no Shabda Prapancha. Similarly, each sense organ is responsible for one aspect of the world. Rupa Prapancha, Drashya Prapancha, Shabda Prapancha, Sparsha Prapancha, then like that, smelling and tasting. Rasa Prapancha, Gandha Prapancha. So that's why in Sanskrit, the word is called Prapancha or five. Five elements. Each sense organ gives one experience. Form, hearing, sound, touch, smell, and taste. If you observe carefully, each is different. Form is different from sound. Sound is different from taste. Taste is different from touch. So the five different experiences of the world are there. Five totally different experiences. Form is different from sound. Sound is different from taste. Taste is different from touch. It's five totally different experiences are there. Mind tries to put them together, creates a one experience. So what are we experiencing? Experience is nothing but consciousness. What I am experiencing, that also is consciousness. If I see a flower, it's called flower consciousness. If I am able to touch a pot and experience pot, it's called pot consciousness. Flower consciousness, pot consciousness, body consciousness also is there. So everything is consciousness appearing in different form. The tree is tree consciousness. Without consciousness, I cannot experience the tree. Experience is consciousness. The river consciousness, the mountain consciousness, the mango consciousness. The consciousness comes in contact with the objects through five sense organs called prapancha. Eyes, ears, and sense organs. And when your consciousness comes in contact with sense organs, there is experience. Experience is consciousness. Please understand, consciousness is not experience. Experience is consciousness. The object is consciousness. So all that is there is consciousness only appearing in different forms. That is the meaning of Sarvam Kalam Kalvidam Brahma. So now the question comes, if I'm not conscious, is there a world out there? If there's no consciousness, there's no possibility of world. Because consciousness using sense organs has to experience the world. Now, is there something called sense organs and the world? Sense organs and world are nothing but forms of consciousness. Consciousness experiences itself in the form of objects of the world. How do you say that? In my dream, I ate a mango. Very nice mango. The dream mango was nothing but my own sleeper's consciousness appearing as mango. The person who is experiencing mango is also myself. Mango is also myself. Myself means the sleeper consciousness. The sleeper consciousness itself appears as mango. I experienced it, which is also mango, which is also consciousness. Then everything disappeared. One consciousness of the sleeper appeared as a tree, a forest, a tiger, and a river in the dream and disappeared. The consciousness experiences itself in the form of the objects of the world. The consciousness alone is there. This is the understanding of Chit. Swami Vidyaranya starts with Sat. Anything happens to you, the consciousness is not affected. In the waking state, there's a consciousness. Dream state, there's consciousness. Deep sleep state, there's a consciousness. Change of states does not affect the consciousness. That's why consciousness is Sat. The consciousness also Chit, knowing principle. All that is known in the world is nothing but consciousness. Sat and Chit is consciousness. Sat means one which doesn't change. I give the example. I meet, talk to my wife, I go to office, but nothing, no changes happen in me. An actor plays the role of a beggar or a rich man, nothing happens to actor. Similarly, consciousness plays various roles in the world, various objects in the world, but nothing happens to consciousness. That is called Sat. Conscious knows about the objects of the world through sense organs. That experience is also consciousness. Experience appears and disappears, but nothing happens to consciousness because Sat. The knowing of any object is also called object consciousness. In the object consciousness also, consciousness, nothing happens to consciousness. Consciousness only appears to be taking form. So Sat and Chit are two aspects of consciousness. Now, that Sat and Chit will become Ananda or infinite when you realize Jivatma is one with Paramatma. The understanding of that will happen in the next coming shlokas. Asatoma Sadgamaya Tamasoma Sadgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya Om Shanti Shanti Shantihi Purnamadha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudichyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Avashishyate Om Shanti Shanti Shantihi Nanu Nanembudu Nanalla Ideha Manabuddhi Nanalla Sachidanandatma Shivanannane Shivoham 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 Atmadarshanam Brahmadarshanam Brahmadarshanam Satyadarshanam Antarjyotihi Bahirjyotihi Pratyakjyotihi Paratpara Jyotireva Jyotihi Swayam Jyotihi Atma Jyotihi Shivosmiham Lokaha Samastaha Sukhino Bhavantu Lokaha Samastaha Sukhino Bhavantu Lokaha Samastaha Sukhino Bhavantu Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om. Swami Vidyaranya is summarizing, if the body mind is not there, there's no world. And when the body and mind is there as the world, it's the consciousness only is appearing as the body and mind and the world. If you are not conscious of anything else, there's no world. Don't be under the imagination that I'm not conscious, that there's no world. Swami Vidyaranya says the confusion is coming because of mind. Who is mind? Mind is nothing but appearance of consciousness only. Mind is also appearance of consciousness only. If everything is appearance of consciousness, mind is also appearance of consciousness. The confusion is happening in the mind. In the mind, the teaching has to be given. Separation between the consciousness and the object. Understand your true nature. Realize your true nature. That's called Viveka. The objects of the world and which also appearance of consciousness, separate from the real consciousness, which is absolute reality, then understand your true nature. So here the two aspects, absolute and relative. Absolute is consciousness. Relative is the object of the world, body and mind. Relative is the appearance of the absolute. The confusion is happening, there is the mixture of absolute and relative. And happening in the mind. Mind is also consciousness only. Clearly separate out absolute and relative. Understand your true nature as Brahman. This is called Viveka and Vairagya. Please understand absolute and relative. Absolute is consciousness free from all objects, stillness. There's no world there. When the world appears, there's a relative world there. All experiences are in the relative world. All experiences are relative. Absolute experience is stillness, bliss, Ananda Swarupa. That's not an experience. Self-experiencing itself is called Ananda. Self-experiencing itself in the form of objects is called happiness. Happiness is a relative nature. Ananda is my nature. So what has to be done to find out Ananda? Objects have to be separate from the subject, pure subject, Atma.
Uh,
It's called Viveka and
for
Vairagya.
Zoom, I'll come back. Anybody
has a question
Google Meet?
from Zoom? Google Meet?